Very good morning to all the students of BIPC first year. So, here we are with the short answer type of questionnaire practice. Before getting into the IPE syllabus that we are still continuing, so I would like to give you a brief note on the books that are being released from the NEET world. You can access the complete material which are designed by the experts of NEET world, all the 4 books, all the 4 subjects of botany, zoology, physics and chemistry, you can easily go through it. Okay. How it is completely for the free of cost. How you can access these books is just follow us in the NEET World 25 is our channel. Just follow us in the Telegram and Instagram, wherein you will also get the questions, replica questions from all the subjects, taking your previous year questions as an example, and the toughest and the difficult topics that you are struggling out there to prepare will be simplified in the form of reels and shorts in the most creative way, and you will get it in the Insta, that is NEET World 25. This is the help that you will get apart from the IPE. And then go to Play Store, install our app, that is MedWorld, okay, wherein you can clearly get just say hi in the chat box and you can clearly get the all 4 PDFs, okay, completely all the long shorts, very shorts with blueprint to get 60 on 60, and all the answers to remember, mostly long answer type of questions to memorize. They are given in the form of flow charts, and mnemonics are given where you can memorize the answers easily and you can present it in the systematic format. And now to know more about this, you can call us to the given number, or you can visit our official website, that is www.neetworld.in. Okay. Now we will move on to the questionnaire practice. Yeah. So here first is plant kingdom. So most of the times you got questions either from plant kingdom or taxonomy of angiosperms. Definitely you will get 1 or 2 questions. So go through it carefully. First is differentiate between red algae and brown algae, okay, that is between rhodophyceae and phaeophyceae. So what this question has asked multiple times in your previous exam, if you see in August 2022, May 2022, 2019, 2017 and 2016, those many times repeated question it is. Difference between rhodophyceae and phaeophyceae. So this is differentiated in a tabulated form. I will show you. Just a second, ma. No issues. I will tell you what all you have to present for a 4 marker answer. No issues. Yeah. So what you have to do is, first thing, from rhodophyceae and phaeophyceae, let us go from out to in, from out to in. Rhodophyceae and phaeophyceae. Habitat will be same for both of them, right? Both of them are marine habitat, mostly marine water habitat. And if you see cell wall is composed of what? Cellulose, wherein hydrocolloid called as agar or carrageen is present over the cell wall. Over the cell wall, what is present, ma? Hydrocolloid, which is agar or carrageen. Fine, right? Whereas in phaeophycean members, that is brown algae, it has hydrocolloid, that is algin. Fine. And then if you see pigmentation, here for rhodophyceae it has chlorophyll A, D and R phycoerythrin, These are the pigments that are present, pigmentation that is present in the rhodophyce. Whereas in phaeophyce the pigmentation will be chlorophyll A, C and fucoxanthin. Highlight about the hydrocolloids and pigmentation. Next is storage bodies. Storage bodies are important. Storage bodies of phaeophyce will be laminarin and mannitol. Whereas here for rhodophyce, the storage food material will be Floridian starch, which is structurally similar to amylopectin or glycogen. And then highlight about the reproduction. Rhodophyce, mostly the reproduction is oogamous. Here in phaeophyce, mostly the reproduction will be what? Iso and anisogamous. Isogamous and anisogamous. Here in rhodophyce, there are no motile gametes. Whereas phaeophyce has motile zoospores. These are the primary differences that you can give. If you can give 6 to 7 differences, that is highly enough for your answer. Okay. And lastly, provide the examples properly, like here Gracilaria, Giladium, okay, Phaeophyce, Ectocarpus, Dictyota, Laminaria, these are the examples that you can give out. Okay. This is how you have to give. If you can provide the answer in the form of a tabulated form, just you can give 6 to 8 points, then you will be awarded with the full marks. Here we go with what is meant by homosporous and heterosporous condition of pteridophytes. Homosporous and heterosporous. This is the condition that is observed only in the pteridophytes, not in bryophytes. Okay. This heterosporous condition has been started from which division of plant kingdom? What should be your answer, beta? Pteridophyta. And how long this question appeared, like in 2024, August 2022, May 2018 and March 2018. Here we go with spore production in pteridophytes. The sporophytes produce spores inside sporangia, which are borne on special leaf-like structures called as sporophylls. Okay. These are borne on what? Special leaf-like structures called as sporophylls. Next, types of sporangia. What are different types of sporangia? Development can be through leptosporangiate or through eusporangiate. What is leptosporangiate type of development? It is development of sporangia from a single cell, whereas eusporangiate group of initial cells will get differentiated to what? Or developed into a sporangia. Next is spore formation. In sporangia, spore mother cells will undergo what? Meiosis, that is addressed as sporic meiosis, which will produce haploid spores. Next, homosporous condition. Homosporous pteridophytes, where all spores are morphologically identical. All spores will be morphologically identical. They will have same size and type. Example you see Lycopodium and Pteris. And then you observe gametophyte in homosporous forms. Okay, half gametophyte will be in the homosporous forms. Spores germinate into bisexual gametophyte. Bisexual gametophyte called as prothalli, which will bear both antheridia and archegonia. Both male and female gametes are present. Heterosporous pteridophytes, two distinct type of spores will be released. Microspores and megaspores. Microspores will be mature to a male gametophyte, megaspores will be mature to a female gametophyte. So, here if you see the examples beta, it will be Selaginella and Salvinia are the examples of heterosporous pteridophytes. Next, gametophyte in the heterosporous forms. What is the gametophyte in the heterosporous forms? Microspores will germinate into male gametophytes, megaspores will be germinated into female gametophytes in unisexual condition. And then evolutionary significance. If you see what the evolutionary significance, heterospory is very important evolutionary step. towards a seed habit. Towards seed habit, heterospory is an important evolutionary step. It shows beginning of differentiation between male and female gametophytes. This will lead to better survival and protection of embryos. Till here it is clear, Nama? Yeah. Next we see what is heterospory. So here what all you have to mention in the answer about homosporous and heterosporous pteridophytes. First, spore production, types of sporangia, spore formation. Homosporous pteridophytes, examples are important both for homosporous and heterosporous. Heterosporous, you can have like a mnemonic called as MAS, wherein Marsilia, Azola, Selaginella, Salvinia. 4 examples you can present out. Next, gametophytes in homosporous forms, heterosporous pteridophytes, gametophytes in heterosporous groups, and then evolutionary significance. Okay, clear till here? Next, here we go with what is heterospory. Okay, what is heterospory? Briefly comment on the significance and the types examples. Okay, so here we see heterospory is an important segment, not just for your IPE, for your MCET and NEET as well, because from pteridophytes, if at all we can see 10 PYQs from pteridophytes, 3 to 4 PYQs will be on heterosporous condition only. That importance this concept is. So move on, go through this concept accordingly. Heterospory is the condition in which a plant will produce 2 types of spores. 2 types of spores are produced. Small spores are microspores and large will be megaspores. Small are microspores and large will be megaspores. Examples, if you see, common in some pteridophytes. The common examples in some pteridophytes include Selaginella and Salvinia. Okay, and they are also seen in the higher plants like gymnosperms and angiosperms. Clear, right? Microspores produced in the microsporangia, they will germinate to form male gametophytes. Okay, microspores will germinate to form male gametophytes which will bear antheridia. And next you see megaspores. Megaspores which are produced in megasporangia, they will germinate to form female gametophytes bearing archegonia. They will germinate to form female gametophytes which will bear archegonia. Dioecious gametophytes. Heterospory will ensure unisexual gametophytes. Okay, this will ensure unisexual gametophytes by preventing self-fertilization, and this will promote genetic variability. Evolutionary advantage, if you see, this will represent an important step in evolution. This represents an important step in evolution and it leads towards seed habit, which is beginning of seed formation. Significance, if you see, this will provide better protection and nourishment to the female gametophyte. Okay, and developing embryo within the megaspore wall. Next, what are the outcomes of this heterospory? This leads to higher survival rates of the embryos and adaptation to the diverse habitats, which will make the evolutionary link between pteridophytes and seed plants. Seed plants include, first is gymnosperms. Okay, so heterospory will form the necessary evolutionary link between the bryophytes and gymnosperms. Heterosporous condition in pteridophytes is forming that evolutionary link. Remember that. Okay, now you see the points that you have to elaborate in the heterosporous condition is microspores, megaspores. Microspores will develop into what, megaspores will develop into what, and then you have to focus on the examples. Okay, and lastly, what is its significance? Okay, now we will move on to the economic importance of algae and bryophytes. Okay, what is the economic importance of algae and bryophytes? Here we go with the importance of algae. 1. Oxygen and carbon cycle. Okay, algae will contribute to least 50% of global carbon dioxide fixation. Remember, this is very important point. Okay, that you have to focus out. Next, it will help in photosynthesis, releasing oxygen, supporting aquatic food chain. Second economic importance is the food resource. Many marine algae like Porphyra, Laminaria and Sargassum, of which these two are Phaeophycean members, this is Rhodophycean member. They are edible and they are rich in proteins, vitamins and minerals. Next is hydrocolloid. Brown algae will yield algin and red algae will yield carrageen agar, which is used in the food industry, cosmetics and pharmaceuticals. Next, industries and medical uses. What are the industries and medical uses that we have? Here we go. Agar for giladium, okay, agar for giladium and gracilaria, and this is used in microbial culture, ice creams, jellies, iodine extracted from kelps like laminaria. Next, in the health supplements, okay, microalgae like chlorella, spirulina, these are used as protein rich health foods, even as astronaut food, okay. And importance of bryophytes, what are the importance of bryophytes? So, first, what is the importance of algae that we have learnt? First is what ma? Oxygen and carbon cycle. Next, as food resource. Next, hydrocolloids. Industrial and medical uses. Health supplements. Clear? Now, importance of bryophytes. First, it is used as food and habitat. Mosses will form food for small herbivores. They will form food for small herbivores like insects, birds and mammals, and they will provide micro habitats for other organisms as well. For peat formation, sphagnum moss is also known as peat moss, cotton moss or bog moss. Highlight these synonyms, it will be impressive. Used as fuel and as packaging material for transporting live plants due to water retention. Clear? And then soil conservation and ecology. Mosses and lichens will colonize bare rocks. Mosses and lichens will colonize bare rocks, which will aid in soil formation. They will aid in soil formation, and dense moss mats will reduce soil erosion. Dense moss mats will reduce soil erosion by holding water and cushioning rainfall impact. Okay. So, importance of bryophytes include what ma? Food and habitat, then it is also known as peat moss or bog moss or cotton moss. These synonyms should be highlighted in the answer, and then for soil conservation and ecology. Just remember the side headings and example, and then you can easily elaborate the answer. Okay. Next, differentiate between liverworts and mosses. Okay, differentiate between liverworts and mosses. Just go through the answer. Here we go. First, feature between liverworts and mosses. Plant body is thalloid gametophyte. Okay, plant body here is what ma? Thalloid gametophyte, which is dorsiventral and free living. For example, Marchantia. Mosses, you see, gametophyte is dominant here. Okay, in mosses, gametophyte is dominant. It has two stages. One is green protonema, second is leafy gametophore. Okay. Next, we will move on to the structure. Okay. Thallus is flat, it is prostrate with leaf-like lobes or scales. And here in mosses, if you see, they are upright slender axis. Okay. The structure of moss is upright slender axis with spirally arranged leaves and branched rhizoids. And then here we go with vegetative reproduction. Okay, vegetative reproduction. This is by fragmentation. Vegetative reproduction is by fragmentation or gymma, which are formed in gymma cups. And then in mosses, if you see, vegetative reproduction is by fragmentation, by gymma and by budding in secondary protonema. Okay, this is by budding also in secondary protonema. Next is sex organs. Antheridia and Archegonia, they are produced on same or different thalli. Okay. Here in mosses, if you see, Antheridia and Archegonia will develop on leafy gametophytes. They are developed on leafy gametophytes and they are intermixed with paraphysis. Next is sporophyte. Sporophyte is differentiated into foot, seta and capsule. Here in mosses, elaborate sporophyte is present when compared to pteridophytes. Okay. Sporophyte is elaborate in mosses when compared to liverworts. Sorry, when compared to liverworts, sporophyte is elaborate in mosses. Okay. And Here we go with spore dispersal. Spores released by symbol dehiscence and elaters will help in spore dispersal. Here capsule will open what? Peristomic teeth. Peristomic teeth will aid in the spore dispersal in mosses. Habitat will prefer moist, shady, terrestrial habitats. This prefers moist, shady and terrestrial habitats, usually in a flattened mat. Okay, and here in mosses if you see, more widespread, forming dense cushions or carpets on the soils and on tree trunks. As such it will be formed. Next, examples you see, Marchantia and Riccia are the examples of liverworts, Funaria and Polytrichum are the examples of mosses. Here you see, for your short answer type of questions, 6 to 8 clear differentiated points. If you present it out in the accurate way, that is more than enough. Here we go with first plant body, then structure, vegetative reproduction, sex organs, sporophyte, spore dispersal, habitat, and then lastly examples you have to present out. Next we move on to how do you distinguish monocots from dicots. Okay, how do you distinguish monocots from dicots? Seeds will have one cotyledon in monocots. In monocots, seeds will have one cotyledon. In dicots, seeds will have two cotyledons. Okay, monocots, floral parts usually they are multiples of 3 like trimerous. Here in dicots, floral parts are usually multiples of 4 or 5, okay, like tetramerous and pentamerous. Then here leaves will have parallel venation, in dicots leaves will have what? Reticulate venation. Here they are primary root is short lived in monocots, adventitious root system is present. Here in dicots, primary root is persistent and this forms a taproot system. Here ground tissue is undifferentiated where cortex, endodermis, pericycle are absent. Ground tissue is differentiated into hypodermis, cortex, endodermis, pericycle and pith. Next, vascular bundles are numerous, they are scattered and closed without any cambium. Here vascular bundles are in the form of a ring, they are open type of vascular bundles with vascular cambium. Secondary growth is absent in monocots, secondary growth is present in dicots. Here root anatomy is large pith, here you will have a small pith, okay. Few vascular bundles and here it is many vascular bundles in monocots, which is a polyarch condition in monocots, diarch to tetrarch you will see in dicots. Okay. So, the differentiation between monocot and dicot, of course it comes in anatomy, but as it is an important question we are discussing here also, and this differentiation is important for your long answer type of question as well. So, go through it ma. Next is your taxonomy of angiosperms. From taxonomy of angiosperms, many questions are highlighted. Okay, so many questions are highlighted. If you see, give an account on floral diagram. Okay, for example, this is asked quite a times in 2022 and 2021, and here we go with the proper answer. Floral diagram is nothing but this is a graphical representation which shows arrangement of floral parts in a flower, which includes what ma? Calyx, corolla, androecium and successive whorls, while gynoecium will be at the center. Okay, gynoecium is always at the center. Next is mother axis. Mother axis is over the posterior side. Okay, mother axis is over the posterior side, which is at the top, and the bract is shown at the bottom of the diagram. Bract is at the bottom of the diagram, mother axis is at the top of the diagram. This helps us to understand the number, position, arrangement and fusion of floral parts. This point is important. Quite a times it is asked in statement based question as well, where it helps in what? This helps in understanding what? Number, position, arrangement and fusion of the floral parts. Important line it is. Okay, and then is floral formula. Floral formula will express information about flower through symbols. This is for bracteate, ebracteate, bracteolate, ebracteolate, actinomorphic, zygomorphic, male flower, female flower, bisexual, calyx, corolla, perianth, androecium, gynoecium. Look at all the things carefully. This symbolizes like this symbolizes in this way. Okay. Next. What are the additional rules? Like number of parts are written in the subscript form, and then union of parts is written by like epipetalous or epiphyllous condition where two words are fused. They are addressed in this way. The cohesion for a single word is addressed in this way. Okay. Next is half inferior, half superior ovary is written in this form. Okay. Now, what are the advantages of this semi-technical description? Take one floral diagram and explain, ma. Whenever you are going through this answer, whenever you are going to attempt the answer of semi-technical description, just take an example and attempt. Here Fabaceae family is given where this is the mother axis and this is the bract at the bottom. What are the advantages? This provides uniformity and clarity, and then it is easy to compare flowers of different families, we can compare it easily. This will serve as an aid in classification and identification of plants. Here we go with the floral formula. This is bracteate, ebracteate and zygomorphic, of course bisexual, calyx 5, corolla is 5, which is 1 plus 2 plus 2 fused condition, which is showing vexillary aestivation. Androecium will show diadelphous condition, which is 9 fused plus 1, and gynoecium is 1, which is superior ovary with hyphen below. Okay. Next is describe essential floral parts of plants belonging to Liliaceae. For Liliaceae family, we have to explain the essential floral parts. Essential floral parts are what, ma? Androecium and gynoecium, right? So, this is multiple times asked question like 24, 2023, 2022 and 2018. These many times the question is repeated. Okay. So, essential floral parts of Liliaceae, if you see, first is androecium, male reproductive part. This consists of how many stamens? 6 stamens with 3 plus 3 condition, tepals. Okay. Sorry, it has 6 stamens in 2 words, that is 3 plus 3. Stamens may be free or united based on different genera of this family. Anthers are dithecous. Dithecous means it has 2 lobes. Basifixed, which are fixed at the base. Intrors, dehiscence is from inside and dehiscence is longitudinal. This will release what? Pollen grains. Next, gynoecium, if you see, this is the female reproductive part, which is tricarpellary. It has 3 carpels, syncarpals where carpels are fused, and ovary, if you see, ma, superior ovary, it is trilocular, which has 3 chambers. Each locule has many ovules which are arranged on axial placentation. Okay. It has what type of placentation? Axial placentation in Liliaceae. Okay. Axial placentation. Style is single and terminal. Stigma is a small, simple or trilobed, and it is of capitate type. Okay. Mention the LS of flower, gynoecium and ovary, LS of ovary as well. Fine. And this is the floral formula, which is bisexual, actinomorphic in symmetry, and perianth 3 plus 3, androecium 3 plus 3, which are fused. Okay. And then gynoecium is 3, which are fused. Cohesion is being addressed. This indicates bisexual actinomorphic flower, perianth in 2 words, stamens 3 plus 3, total 6. Next, tricarpellary syncarpous gynoecium with superior ovary. Clear, right, ma? Next is, what does this describe? This describes the essential organs of Solanaceae. Okay. This describes what? Essential organs of Solanaceae, which is asked quite a times like May 2022, October 2021, March 2019, March 2015 and 2015 again. Essential floral parts of Solanaceae, if you see, first is androecium, which is the male reproductive part. Stamens are 5, which shows epipetalous. Epipetalous is adhesion of androecium with the petals. Okay, two words are united, that is epipetalous condition. Arrangement is this will alternate with the petals, and anthers here are dithecous with 2 lobed, basifixed, intrors again, and dehiscence is longitudinal dehiscence in Datura, porous type of dehiscence you will see in Solanum. Next, gynoecium, which is female reproductive structure, right. So, here gynoecium in Solanaceae is bicarpellary gynoecium. Okay, it has 2 carpels, bicarpellary. Syncarpous condition, which has fused carpels. Okay, ovary is superior ovary, bilocular with 2 chambers. It has many ovules in each locule. Okay, many ovules in each locule. Placentation is axile placentation. Style is terminal. Stigma is capitate, which is head-like stigma. Special note that carpels are arranged obliquely at 45 degrees, which is a characteristic feature of Solanaceae. Clear, right, ma? Next, describe non-essential floral parts here. Okay. Yeah. Here we go with non-essential floral parts of Fabaceae, which is important again, quite a times asked in 2023, 2018, 2016 and 2014. Fine. How you have to present out non-essential floral parts, which includes calyx and corolla. Present out the diagrams first. I always advise you people to first draw out the diagrams and then start out explaining the answer. Here you see calyx. Calyx is 5 in number, whose condition is gamosepalous, where sepals are united, and aestivation is both imbricate and valvate type of aestivation. Special feature, if you see, it has odd sepal anterior. Okay, that is the diagnostic character. Next, corolla. Corolla, which is 5 petals, it has 5 petals which are free, polypetalous condition. Okay, which has papillonaceous corolla, which is a typical feature of Fabaceae. Next, arrangement of petals. Standard vexillum, 1 large posterior petal is present. Wings. Okay, wings are also known as alia. 2 lateral petals, and keel petal is known as carina with 2 anterior petals. These keel petals are fused. Mention it out properly. And then if we see functional importance, this helps in piston mechanism of pollination. What type of pollination is given? Piston mechanism of pollination. Okay. And then you see economic importance of Fabaceae. So, clear, right? The arrangement of calyx and corolla, clearly you explain out with diagram, 5 points each, enough. Okay. But your answer should be accurate, that is important. It should be clear and accurate. Give the economic importance of plants belonging to Fabaceae. Okay. March 20, June 2019, May 2017 and May 2016. These long years the question is appeared. Economic importance, here we go first with proteins. Pulses such as red gram, black gram, mung bean, lentils, these are rich sources of proteins. They serve as staple food in many vegetarian diets. Okay, in many vegetarian diets they will serve as what? Staple foods. Next is edible oils. Seeds of soya bean, groundnut, they will yield high quality of edible oils. These oils are used in cooking and migraine and in food industries. Okay. Next, vegetables. Fabaceae which are used in vegetables, Fabaceae members, garden pea, French bean and cluster bean, soya bean, and leaves of methi. Okay, which are highly proteinaceous, right all the seeds. Next, in timber and wood, see all types of plants and their uses with economic importance you have to remember, like red sanders and Indian rosewood, Dalbergia. Next, fiber, sun hemp, dyes, indigofera, and medicinal values you can see mulati. Okay. Deris indica as well, and for fodder Sesbania trifolia, Sesbania tephrosia and Crotalleria. Okay. Fasciolus, these are the examples for fodder and green manure. So here you see ma, for each type of economic importance of Fabaceae, for each type, be it pulses examples, oils examples, vegetables examples, timber, fiber, dyes, medicinal values for fodder, all the examples of Fabaceae you have to remember. Explanation, just use the proper terminology, give out 1 point of explanation at each heading, each subheading, that will be enough. Okay. Then we will move on to write the brief account on class Dicotyledonnae using what classification? Bentham and Hooker's classification, which is appeared in March 2017. Here you see Bentham and Hooker's system of classification. Introduction, this is proposed by in what ma? Genera Plantarum. This is proposed in Genera Plantarum. This is considered a what? Natural system of classification. Okay, and this is still widely used in what? Herbaria and in floras. Division of plants. These are divided into Dicotyledonnae, Gymnospermae and Monocotyledonnae. Dicotyledonnae, here we see 3 subclasses are there. First is Polypetalae with free petals, divided into Thalamiflorae, Disciflorae and Calciflorae. Second is Gamopetalae with united petals. Examples or series include Inferae, Heteromerae and Bicarpellate. Inferae, Heteromerae and Bicarpellate. Next, Monoclamidae, where perianth is simple or absent. This contains 8 series, and then Gymnospermae, this is placed in separate class. Gymnosperm is placed in separate class with 3 natural orders. Next, Monocotyledonnae, plants will have single cotyledon here. Here it is divided into 7 series. Numbers of natural orders, 202 natural orders are there. Okay, 165 in Dicotyledonnae, 3 in Gymnosperm and 34 in Monocots. Merits, if you see, simple, practical, which is based on the natural characters. They are used for identification in herbaria. They are widely followed in Indian floras. For example, Hooker's flora of British India. Next is limitations. Gymnosperms are placed both in dicots and monocots. It is placed in between dicots and monocots in Bentham and Hooker's classification, and they did not consider the phylogeny, that is evolutionary classification is not considered. Some families are not placed naturally. Okay. So here in Bentham and Hooker's classification, what you have to highlight ma? The basic framework of classification you give out. In which book he has proposed, what is the evolutionary significance. Next, division. It is divided into 3 classes, dicot, gymnosperms and monocots. Lastly, its significance, merits and demerits. Merits and limitations or demerits, everything is important. And histology we will look in the next class. So, in today's class we have exercised the complete questions on plant kingdom and taxonomy of angiosperms. In our next class we will be looking into the histology and anatomy of angiosperms. So, that is all for today's session ma. Thank you.